Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat now. We're going to bring to the stage Mr. Paul Candice and, making a special cameo appearance, Mr. Dan Tirman.
You may have heard game nights have become a little trendy. A game night is when a group of people get together to play board games on a regular basis. Something happened one night, and these emails ensued. This is Paul from last night. We were playing spades together. Your behavior was inappropriate behavior for a man your age. We who were playing the game were all upset that you left the way you did. I want to let you know how I felt about your immature behavior that even borders on arrogance, that it's okay to do that, and that behavior is supposed to be okay. Mark said that was mean. Yes, a quote, and he usually likes you. I was very disappointed and even upset myself at what you did. I find it very appropriate to let you know that. Why? Because you took the pad with the scores on it, so we couldn't continue without you if we wanted to. You snuck out like a thief into the night. I ask a favor of you, don't do that crap again. Our better question is, why would you do it in the first place? This email is being BCC'd to all those that were there that night, so they know of your behavior. That way you might think twice about pissing other people off, just for what I can only guess is a sadistic sort of fun for a man of your age. Very bizarre behavior, I might add, as well. Sincerely, one unhappy with you game player.
After sitting alone at the table for 10 minutes, I looked at my watch and realized that it was my customary time to leave. Since you all had abandoned the game for an interminable time without explanation, it was apparent that the game was over. Think about it. Mickey.
Be that as it may, communication is tantamount in an incident like this. We merely took a break and we're intending to come back. But if one doesn't communicate at all with another, this is what happens. I do not stand alone in your behavior, and many, if not all, agree it stinks. Just wanted to be heard, have a good day anyway, and next time, if possible, if it is in your realm of possibilities, try and communicate with others and at least leave the score sheet if you find it impossible to say the words goodbye to your fellow players who deserve more respect than you gave them. There is no explanation for taking the scores of all the players with you. Do you want to explain that? Since you took the time to answer this email, I didn't notice it was written on paper made of gold that belonged to you. Granted, the pad may have been yours, and if the cards were yours, you would have taken those too.
Games involve various rules, both formal and informal. The most basic rule is to show respect to others. An informal rule is that a player beginning a game is expected to remain to finish the game. A basic formal rule, as in the Olympic Games, is that a player forfeits a turn by failing to be present at the appropriate time to play. In bridge, it is a breach of etiquette for a player to hold up the game for everyone else while talking on the cell phone. That was the first sign that you were being disrespectful that night. When a player leaves a game for the bathroom, the proper procedure is to gain permission from all others to ensure that there is an expectation of immediate return. A player leaving a game without asking permission or indicating the time of return has, within an interminable period of time, abandoned the other players and has therefore resigned from the game. When several players do so, leaving only one at the table, the game is over. The player has been abandoned, is then free to join another game or to leave the game party. The score pad has been irrelevant at that point. In all these examples, the basic informal rule is to show respect. Failing to play at one's turn, talking on the cell phone during a game, and wandering away from a game without explanation show disrespect. Recently, you raised questions about game etiquette and had strong opinions. In emails, you express yourself in a disrespectful manner, one that appears to meet the legal definition of libel. Continue to show disrespect to others has consequences. Accordingly, you are no longer welcomed at my house.
Thank you for your email, and my apologies for showing disrespect toward my elders at the very least. As I read this email, this last email, as untimely as it was, 2 weeks later, I too agree and had already banned myself from your humble abode for the simple fact I never got the rule book, for which you mentioned the many rules you speak of that my 1 year and 3 months have yet to learn from the GameNight.org group. Therefore, not knowing the rules you speak of already found you disrespectful and uncommunicative on your departure that evening in question. Libel, I do apologize for that as well, as a general disrespect you found of my many emails. When I know I now should have just walked away and didn't. I learned more about you this way. Thanks for the ban. I will enforce it strongly all by myself. Amen. Sincerely, Paul Candice. A few days went by. I had a change of heart. Having slept on it, I wished to bury the hatchet. I had no idea of all the parameters you speak of. I did not know that you felt I was disrespectful by me not announcing where I was going when I left the table, or any other reason you thought of me as disrespectful that evening. The most important thing to me, and I hope to you, is that game night is a social evening of fun with others. What we have discussed here in these emails is the opposite of fun. I would like to lighten up by admitting I did not know of what you speak, or your feelings for that matter either. So having said that, I have forgiven you for something that I felt was rude and insensitive, now that you explain yourself in great detail. I also know where you are coming from, and you didn't just abruptly leave on a whim because you felt like it. That is what I originally thought. I know I will continue to see you at other game nights. If so, I would like to know if you would accept a handshake to bury this matter and move on from it. So now the ball is in your court, whether you will accept an apology from another game night goer or not. Thank you. 2 weeks go by. Nothing. This is what I sent him yesterday. I have a copy of the last email I sent you. I was wondering if you are interested in shaking hands and burying the hatchet. Start fresh and new. It's all explained below, and it's everything I just of course said. Not a peep. Some say he likes to hold grudges. Well, we'll see what happens when I see him next time, when I reach for that crusty old and weathered poor excuse for a 65-year-old hand of his and force him to bury the hatchet and move on. He's bringing arrogance to the surface, and I met my match. Sort of an arrogance war, you might say. I certainly don't think of myself as arrogant, but I am not here on this earth to teach people how to conduct themselves in public. Next time, I think I'll just walk away and shake my head like others did that very night. After all, they had known him longer than I.
Paul Candice, along with Dan Tirman.